But I will say that Lars Ulrich really likes himself. I'll put it that way. Man. All right. Let's do this. This show is off to a great start. Can't wait. All right. Silver's up 7.5%. Palladium's up 7%. You know I'm long, pal. You know that. Look at that. I mean, come on. This is up 81% since we got in. And yeah, I'm taking some gains on all this stuff. I sold some silver ETFs. I still hold my physical. We're in the mania part now. That's what this is. This is a mania experience. It's your first time. Welcome. We are in the middle of it. I highly recommend the great book by Kindleberger, Manias, Panics, and Crashes, to really understand what is happening right now. Who was Fiona Apple? That's going to bother me the rest of the day, Ed. I'm just going to let you know that. Paper Bag, Criminal, Shadowboxing. Those three songs are the only three songs you need to know by Fiona Apple. She's a national treasure. I think she's Canadian. Is she? She is from New York. Oh. She's 48. I thought she was like 106 at this point. She's been around forever. Criminal. She was like 18 when she put Criminal out. All right. Let's start talking about Fiona Apple. Even though I could make an entire show about Fiona Apple, I could do that. We could talk about Gwen Stefani. We can do a lot of things. A lot of good lead singers out there that don't get their due. People still coming into the room. I'm going to give you an extra minute or two before we dive into things. She only has 46,000 followers on Prime Music. So what? Do you only listen to music because it's popular? No, you got to listen to you got to find some hidden gems out there. And the fact that it's only 40, like, we should start a national campaign to inform everybody that she is a national treasure. Criminal's a phenomenal song. I'm just going to leave that here. A lot of guilt. Pink Floyd. I'll listen. If you said to me, I only get 3 Fiona Apple songs or 3 Pink Floyd songs and I live on an island forever, I'll take Fiona Apple. Just saying. Good morning, Lyndon. We are completely gone off the rail. Yeah, she doesn't do much anymore. It's okay. She probably does something else. Maybe she's trading. Maybe she's part of the room. Maybe she is Rodney G. Maybe. One can hold out hope. All right. 8:50, that means everybody's in the room. Everybody touch your toes, stretch. We're ready to roll. 52.60 on gold. This is just not good. I just want to let you know that you're not making money. If you're up on gold, you're up on silver, you're not making money. Something is wrong with our currency. Looking at the CHF is what I care about. That's the Swissy 130. U.S. dollar continues to break down. Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This picture is going to haunt me. We're even on momentum. The fact that we hit 7,000, that we pushed higher, it is telling me something. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure there was coordination by the Bank of Japan and by the U.S. Federal Reserve. I wouldn't know what it would look like. I wouldn't know what they actually did. But I will just point this out. We're going to go back to 2024. There were 2 things that happened that were very significant that year. Well, 3. You had this sell-off that happened when we saw money markets under stress. We had that Nikkei event where the Japanese intervened in their currency. Market crashed. And then you moved into September. This is what people don't talk about. Right there. See that little downturn? That is where it is likely that the People's Bank of China and other central banks in the world coordinated to help effectively save China for about 15 minutes. Intervention, actions, small policy decisions, unless they are terminal for an economy, they rarely announce these things. So we saw back here, Michael Howell picked up on this over at Cross Border Capital, effectively saying, hey, like most likely they did something. They intervened in 2016 with the People's Bank of China, helping to prevent a debt deflation spiral. It doesn't get discussed. And the only reason that we look and we see that the FNGD, Charlie, is breaking down, it is now about to cross under its 50-day moving average, which means there has to be liquidity. There has to be capital. There has to be money flowing in. So despite all of my deep concerns, there is action being taken. I don't know what it is. I have to spend probably another 8 to 9 days waiting to find out what it is. But the reality is that if the FNGD breaks under its 50-day moving average, that's bullish. It's bullish for the Mag 7. We do have the Fed meeting today. There's a lot going on. I will be live from 2 o'clock to 4:30 today. We're going to talk deep about this. But flows are solid. 7,100 is in focus right now. Platinum, palladium, silver, gold. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It burns higher. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. It feels off, but that's how mania operates. That's how panics operate. The upside is substantial, and our reading is positive inflows. The money is flowing in despite all the big headline numbers, all the concerns that we have. We don't want to fight it. We don't want to try to fight the Fed. We don't want to fight central banks. We just go with the flow. If you try to shorten this environment right now without confirmation, you're in trouble. Now, that could change 24 hours from now. Technology is improving. Financials are weakening, which tells me that, again, if there is an event, it is likely going to be tied to the regional banking space, not to those big mega cap stocks. Our momentum reading on the Russell is yellow. Why does that matter? Because we have a very sizable number of small cap equities that are selling off at relatively strong paces. It's the selling pressure that we're paying attention to. S&P 500 is positive for right now. This is the time to play defense. You have 6 hours, right, to take the time to reassess your portfolio, ask why you own something, and make sure that you are holding conviction in these equities. We're going to talk about volume-weighted average price today, how to trade the Fed. I want you to be prepared for when we get into that 2 o'clock, 2:30 hour. It's okay if you raise cash right now. It's okay if you take profits right now. The purpose of a market, as you know, is to sell. So if you are up on something and you're a little guarded, take some gains. And if you're losing right now, if you're behind on something or you're lagging, don't start trying to chase something that is high beta, underperforming. We are at a Mendoza line in the market, and we get one of these every 6 months. Don't force. Jerome Powell is the story today. He's going to have a great tie. He's going to say the most boring things you've ever heard in your lifetime. Don's going to join me, I believe, at 2 o'clock. I'm going to have Blake Young there as well. Anybody else wants to join me, come on in, right? Key thing here is this is not going to be about the Fed itself. The Fed is doing what it has to do to help play defense for the Bank of Japan. You don't think that the Bank of Japan matters, but it does. At the big macro level, the Bank for International Settlements, back in April of 2025, basically said, look, Japan's actions impact the U.S. market, and the U.S. market's actions impact Japan. It used to be independent. Now it's not. I've used this idea before, imagine that you go to turn your thermostat, you turn it up to 80 degrees, but it doesn't get hot because next door, someone else turns theirs down at 68. Your neighbor's thermostat impacts your heat in your house. That is what is happening. When Japan changes its policy, it impacts us here, and when we change our policy, it impacts them there. And that's happening all across the West. It's all of the big financialized economies. So what are we watching today? The SPY, the Qs. We're going to talk about VWAP trading. Watch the TLT. Watch the UUP. What's the dollar doing? It's weakening. It's weakening. Look at that chart. Look at that move. That is a downward move on the dollar as this moves up. Beautiful thing about this optionality on that ETF is that you don't have to put up $1,865 to trade it. All you have to do is just buy at the money something that is one directional. It's going to cost you $65, $70, not $1,865. There's very little volatility on the U.S. dollar. I think the implied vol is like 1. So right now, the expectations, no Fed cut. Intraday momentum is flat. Breadth is split. Positioning is cautious. Everybody has made their moves ahead of time, and that's what 2 o'clock, 2:30 will be about. It's about how people position themselves. The Fed is not going to cut rates today. If they cut rates today, I will probably, I don't know, I might have to retire because I'd be that bad at this. 2.8% probability, that's going to have to be unwound. Looking at the March is what really matters. Only 15% chance of a rate cut in March, which takes us to June. June is what would matter, and that is where the first rate cut of the year is currently priced in. But here's the problem. They're not beating inflation. Services are still sticky. Japan can't move. Cutting rates here and allowing rates to continue to increase in Japan, it creates a lot of uncertainty. So, hey, we're still in the third inning of this. Watch the VIX. The VIX continues to move lower. Why does that matter? It matters because, well, they're printing money. But are their efforts actually working? That's what needs to be in focus. Japan is the hidden driver of this market right now. The yen volatility continues to suggest intervention or at least coordination behind the scenes. They're not going to announce this. They don't want the markets to know, to admit that they are engaging in what is very clearly centralized planning. It's centralized planning. And we were supposed to be told that the markets are these wonderful things where free will operates. It doesn't. It's centrally controlled. The mechanism of the market, the dollar, is heavily centrally planned. And that ripples through everything. Did you think you were free? Did you think we were capitalist? No. If you control the currency, the funding mechanism of all operations, you are by definition not operating in a capitalistic system. Maybe somebody should read Adam Smith. Actually read his stupid books. They're awful. But actually read it. Not just have it as a beautiful ornament in your home. The reality is the funding stress of the dollar to Japan is going to be the story of this year. The FXY strength is the story of the year, and we have to watch things like AIG because they will tell us if there is funding stress. It's not just AIG, MET, PRU. I am in an AIG trade right now. I bought the 71 for February and sold the 76. Makes my break even somewhere around $72.76. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all of them are in focus as well. My family is leaving. Everybody is going back to school today in Maryland. And just so you know, there's only one number that really matters this morning. There it is. 12 days until pitchers and catchers report. Feel that optimism. Let's go get Framber Valdez. Let's go. Big tech earnings are in focus as well, not just, the Fed meeting, but we've got Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, NVIDIA, AI sentiment coming up as well, SMH. See what the semis are doing. Is the AI trade a bubble? I don't care. What I care about is liquidity strong, and do you have the good forward guidance? It's not the EPS, it's the forward guidance. Are they expecting record levels of demand? They're high. Valuations are stretched. Even strong earnings can be met with selling if guidance disappoints. And I want to just remind you of this. People will say, wow, like Microsoft crushed earnings. Why did it sell off? Because the purpose of the market is to sell. It's to take gains. We're in the first quarter now. People who've been in these positions for a year, year and a half, 2 years, taking gains. Liquidity is doing the heavy lifting of this market. Dollar weakness, global easing, cross-border flows are holding these markets together, despite the fact that it's only a handful of stocks that are doing the real work. So capital continues to move toward real assets, real things. Gold, silver, oil, upstream E&P, pipelines. We continue to see this debasement. We continue to see the stress, and we continue to see a pretty aggressive move on institutions right now that are seeing, hey, you can't have this AI future without infrastructure and without materials. All of this chatter about Greenland and Venezuela, this is the underlying trend. This is mercantilism. This is a nation trying to maintain its power, and it doesn't have the resources to do so at the level that it wants to. That's the battle. It is about nations. It's not about who's in charge. It's not about the politician. It's about, can we maintain number one, or is this going to be a world in the future that is driven by China that has spent the last 20 years preparing for this standoff? And they did. Since 2004, when they started to pass their rules and the regulations that made industries effectively sovereign risks for them. We didn't do that. We took our foot off the gas. We have focused on financialization. We focused on trying to find a way to buy for $1 and sell for $2. This gold, this silver, everything that's happening right now with all of this pricing, this is a repricing of that sovereign risk. It is, imagine, you watch a soap opera in the afternoon as the world turns. Whatever. And every day you tune in, and the characters are not Bob and Sam. The characters are nations. We are in a period of time right now where decades happen within weeks. Continue to utilize the moving averages. Continue to watch things like FCX, BTC, XLE. Look, resources are going to matter more than ever over the next 5 years. That is the real test. General Hospital, not good. My brother was on, what was my brother on? My brother's an actor. Whatever Susan Lucci was on. She's still around. She's 79. Wow. Good for her. All My Children. There you go. My brother was on All My Children. He played Rudy. I don't know. My brother was also in New Jersey Drive, Spike Lee movie. He played white drunk guy number 4. Very good scene. APLD. All right. 13 minutes. Applied Digital Corp. Look, momentum's returning back to the tech side. I like it. What's nice about these stocks, what's nice about these equities is that it blew through its 52-week high. So now, the continuation of momentum, stronger stocks get stronger. You keep a tight stop, set it back at the 40 level, you buy the stock, and you look for a continuation of trend. PSTG. What do you do? Who knows? What? I don't know. Pure Storage. I really like this. We're waking up. We're waking up. 75. What can you do with something like this? Buy at the money. Buy at the money. The momentum is here. So if you go out to like February 20th, you can buy the 70 and sell the 75. Guys, I'm not a guy who's going to try to tell you, hey, we need to try to make 100% on a trade. I'm trying to make an annualized return of 100%, different than 100% on a trade. And I want to manage my risk. Is that so bad? What that means is if I go out to February and I can get that $70 call for February 20th for PSTG, and I could sell the 75, which is where we are. But the premium that is generated on that call is $385. What that means is this is actually pretty wild. If you buy at the money or in the money at 70 and you sell the 75, listen to these numbers. 85% max return. Annualized return, 1,300%. But the probability of profit is 58% if this stock moves. I don't care if it goes to 90. I just need this stock to stay above 72.70. And why does that number matter? Because that is well under the 100-day and the 50-day EMA. If this stock pulls back to 74 in the next week, I'm still up. 85% probability or 85% return focus, 58% probability of profit, and willingness to cut it if the stock falls $1. That's it. And your upside is 85% in the next 30 days. Less than that. 23. Okay? Buy the 70, sell the 75. Yep. Sell the 75. That's a great trade, by the way. Congratulations. Energizer. I don't like this company. And I think it's because when I was in 4th grade, I dressed as the Energizer Bunny for Halloween, and my mom made the costume. Did you ever have your mother make a costume for you? Did you ever have your mother say, I can make a McDonald's hamburger? It's not the same. It ain't. I look nothing like the Energizer Bunny. My drum was way too small. That still sits with me. It's why I am the way I am. Screw it. Let's go in. Let's buy Energizer. You know what? This is just a spite trade. If I can't get over that memory, I'm going to fill the hole with money, everybody. There's no options. All right. Lottery. Screw it. 22.50 for February is 77 cents. We have to get above that 100-day. If we can't get above that 100-day, there's no point to that trade. But if you are going to be a speculator, 22.50 is pretty interesting. I might actually sell a spread on Energizer. It's so boring. And then buy the call. That is the jaded lizard, broken lizard. That's a throwback to Tasty Trade. Sell down here, sell a spread, take the spread, buy a call. All right. Let's move on with our lives. Yeah, that happened in the Christmas story. That's right. Chipotle. You know, I hate shorting this, but this food sucks now. They've gotten so bad. I wish they need to fix this place. CMG. We break under that 20-day. There it is right there, EMA, 39.27. You don't make this trade until you move under that level. That's 48 cents away. You buy the 40, you sell down to the EMA of 50, 38. Buy the 40, sell the 38. And you do it short duration and you keep a tight stop. It's just all they do is just pump rice into the damn thing. It's terrible. Not fun. Geo Group. Don't really understand what's going on here. Good company. This is a political noise story. Company operates border security locations. Did you notice that the trend is working against this company? More people left America than tried to come in. So lower highs, lower lows have been the norm. Like when you hear about immigration and policy and things along those lines, and then like they actually crack down to the point that people don't try to come across the border, well, this stock goes down because the stock relies on government intervention. And because of the rest of the noise built, you know what's going on in Minnesota. If the temperature is going to be dialed down, the natural impact will impact Geo Group. So same thing. Buy in the money, 17.50, 18 level put, and then sell out of the money. Define your risk and recognize that you have $18 is the 100-day moving average. The 50 days at 17. Trade around those levels. Buy those puts at that level because it provides some resistance, and then look for a continuation of trend to the downside. PLAB is Scott Dunn stock, everybody. He was right. I was wrong. He's very good looking. I am not attractive. That is a Happy Gilmore reference. The strength is here. The upside is 40, 45. Buy the stock, set a tight stops. 35 is a good stop for PLAB as we look for a continuation of trend in this semiconductor space. 40, 45, I'm in. All right, Jets and T. I don't know how this is still a thing, but it is. Can this just wake up? AT&T it's so bad. What a bad company. I'm out. Let's look at Jets. There you go. Ayo. It's funny. Every time that I book a flight, airline companies go down. It's like I'm the cooler for Delta. JTS, there's your key line in the sign. That 50-day moving average, 24.45. Is that right? Can't be right. 27.77. Yikes. So we're looking for a pop in the morning and then a rollover on Jets. Yikes. That's an ugly chart. Lower highs, lower lows. That's just momentum breaking down in that world. All right. You're in Plab. I'm in Plab. That's right. Eric in Northport worked for Geo Management.
I think we were 6 for 6 yesterday on the runner, by the way.
Nice. We're cooking with gas. All right. Hey, 3 minutes. That means it's time to talk about volume weighted average price. If you don't have this set up, what is going on? I never took the screen away. Are you kidding? What happened? Or, is that because you talked?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's not, there it is. Okay. That's weird. I think it is. I think it's because you just took the screen away. Okay. Everything's okay now. SPX. Ew. All right. If you have not learned how to trade volume weighted average price yet, I don't know what to tell you. But here's what we're looking for in the next couple of hours. I talked to Corey the other day. We did an hour together, and Corey said that he walks into a market with various scenarios that he is lining up. I don't do that. I focus on one trade, one opportunity, one thing. And if it hits, if it shows up, I'm in. Volume weighted average price, that blue line right here, not that one. That is anchored volume weighted average price. Blue line. Let me get rid of this. Let's just turn it off so that we're not confused. These are standard deviations of volume weighted average price. 1 minute volume weighted average price. If you are looking for opportunities as they come, are we going to talk about VWAP this afternoon? It's all we're going to do at 2 o'clock. We're going to keep this up for that very specific purpose. Let's talk about what we're looking for today. We are looking for an overreaction, whether it is at 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, whenever it happens. We are looking specifically for VWAP to pull back. Maybe it runs, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if we sell off positioning-wise, we look for a move down here into this third band in those hours. We then buy on the SPY, SPY, not SPX, SPY. We flip over from the SPX to the SPY, and we buy in the money. Whatever is in the money. Could be 696, could be 693 for all we know. And we look for a short-term reversion. And that's it. That's it. Now, if you are trading, the other line in the sand that you can use today is VWAP. But I will note, you don't want to be buying at the VWAP level if the VWAP line is descending. That is negative trend. And that means if you buy into VWAP and you use VWAP as your exit, in case you stop out, well, that doesn't really help you very much because the trend line is moving lower, which means your stop is going to be lower than your exit by design. Don't do that. All right? It's 9:20 right now. Don is coming in. You wait 2 hours into each section with VWAP. You wait about 2 hours into 9:50 is where I will start trading VWAP. First 20 minutes, I let the market kind of calm down. Okay? All right. 9:21. I have to leave. I have to go. I'm being thrown out. Don is here. He's going to play some music that people actually like. Tomorrow, you are going to listen to No Doubt. Have a great day.